Good evening, everybody. So before we start the new chapter, so I think we need a short time to review what we learned in the past. And also before we actually start the teaching, please everybody do short, simple meditation about absorbing your breath is make you very calm. Also is become your mind is more aware and more pure. So physically be relaxed and just focus on your breathing in and out. Just absorb your breath. Okay. So each time when you feel you are still breathing, that means you know you are still alive. Right? Therefore, each time when you realize I am still alive, then you just, rejoice yourself, oh, I am still alive. Some of my friends, some of my relatives, or some of, people just had passed away this morning, so and so. This reminds you about the impermanence. So once you remember impermanence, then suddenly you have a big question. After I died, after I pass away this life, where should or where we will go, where I will go. As a Buddhist, so we believe into next life, not only next life, after next life. Also we believe into Buddha. Also we wish ourselves to achieve Buddhahood. So since last year, so we have been study Lamrim. That means there's a two words. Lam means path. Yeah, like a Rim means the order or sequence. So there are only three paths. The simple, the ordinary paths, the paths to lead to happy life, and this life also lead to have a happy life in next life. This we call, small capacity path. The second path is the medium path. The path lead you to liberation, liberate from suffering, samsara, and cause of suffering and samsara. So we complete, study about the first two paths. Third, we're going to study about the path which is lead to Buddhahood, which is mainly Bodhisattva path, bodhicitta. The first path is looks very simple. When you practice, is not really that simple. In order to have a happy life, in this life or next life, you need to control. You need to, not engage into 10 non-virtuous action and adopt 10 virtuous actions. In order to adopt the 10 virtuous actions, you need to practice, you need to cultivate the 10, the positive minds. In order to stop engage into 10 non-virtuous action or negative actions, also you need to control the 10 negative thoughts. So it's up to you, which path you follow. The second, in order to achieve liberation, not only control the negative thoughts, not only control the afflictive emotions. So we need to, get rid of them from the root, include ignorance. Because all afflictive emotions arise or causes by ignorance. In order to eliminate the ignorance, definitely we need to realize selflessness or emptiness. So we study a little bit about how we can eliminate the afflictive emotions. Mainly, there's a 6 root afflictive emotions. So page number 349. So I will explain very shortly. You no need to open the book. The way to eliminate the affliction is as follows, beginning with the 6 root afflictions. There's mainly 6 types of afflictive emotions are the root to arise rest of the negative thoughts. Among the great misdeeds include negative actions. Ignorance is the most tenacious and serves as the basis of all other afflictions. So just simply you think ignorance is the main cause to arise rest of the afflictive emotions, include the negative actions. So how we can eliminate, what is the best remedy for the ignorance? The answer is here. You should meditate a great deal on dependent arising. Become knowledgeable about the progression and cessation of such existence. If you have habitually cultivate this, none of the bad views, such as the 5 afflicted views, will occur. That means, in order to eliminate, in order to control the ignorance, we need to realize, we need to apply dependent arising as an antidote or remedy. So, when you realize dependent arising, then you will notice everything, any phenomena arise, exists mainly dependent on something. Nothing exists, none of the phenomena can exist without depending on something. None of the phenomena can exist, can be, like independent entity. That means through realizing emptiness, so arising dependent through knowing, through realizing the dependent arising, that you will notice emptiness. So look at, when attachment arises because of the ignorance, anger arises because of the attachment, the wrong views we have because of ignorance. So when you just imagine a beautiful object or beautiful phenomena or beautiful person, when you imagine something is so beautiful, so attractive, then you are really looking something beautifully exists from the object side. When you realize emptiness of the phenomena, emptiness of the person, then the ignorance no more can arise. So, dependent arising is the antidote or remedy of ignorance. Second, hostility or anger is the enemy who brings suffering both in this and in the future life, and who destroys accumulation root of the virtues. The second, the anger, hostility is the enemy. So usually we say, oh, he or she is my enemy, or she or he can be your enemy for a few months or few years, or maybe only this life. Next life, or he or she cannot be your enemy. So we should not consider, someone as your enemy. Anger is always be enemy with you, because it brings suffering in this life and future lives. Also, not only just brings suffering, it destroys the accumulated the virtues. That means anger or hostility is the enemy. So what is the best antidote? Therefore, never use it. So therefore, the patience is the best antidote, patience or compassion. Here, there's one sentence here. There's no sin like hatred, sin. Therefore, never give hostility an opportunity, and make every effort to be patient. If hostility does not arise, you will be very happy even in this lifetime and the future life. Therefore, we really need to put, the good effort to stop to arise anger. How? Be patient, practice the patience. So patience is the best antidote to eliminate, to control the anger. Number 2. The number 3, attachment or craving. So anger can be arise based on attachment. Attachment can be attached towards the external phenomena or internal phenomena. So attachment is one of the afflictive emotions. Not only attachment, just arise negative thoughts. Also, we believe in a next life. In order to have next life, also we need to believe in karma. So we already have many different types of karma. So without attachment, without craving, the karma cannot give rise. The karma cannot, throw you into next life. Therefore, the attachment or craving activate the karma. So we need to control attachment. Therefore, you should meditate a great deal on what is external or internally unpleasant and on the faults of the being attached to desirable object. Therefore, overcome your craving and attachment. Therefore, you need to meditate on the external or internal phenomena is the basis of object. then you need to meditate on the essenceless or ugliness, attachment. Then number 4, pride. Pride. So when you have a strong pride, then you cannot develop the path. Or if you have a strong pride, also you cannot get a lot of good knowledge. Therefore, we need to reduce pride. Or we should not mix up pride and confidence. The pride arises mainly baseless. You have a some part of beautiful object, but you give extra quality on it. Then you have a very strong pride about the object. So when you have a pride, you need to meditate on, differentiation. For example, when you have a strong pride about your car, you always feel, my car is very nice, very good. When you have this kind of pride or ego, then you should compare your car with somebody's car, which is more expensive, which is more, comfortable. Then your pride going down. When you have a strong pride about your relatives, oh, my brother, my sister, my mother is the best person in the world. First, you think that way. Second, you should compare the person with someone who are much, much better. Then also the pride going to reduce. Pride. Then wrong views. And doubt. Doubt has two types. One is the positive, one can be negative. So we are talking about the negative doubts. When you have a negative doubts, that means something there, still you are not sure, you are not ready to accept something there. Therefore, you need to learn the truth. Particularly if you have a doubt about next life, you need to study about next life. You need a strong conviction about next life. You need to know the truth about next life. Through the knowing the truth, they reduce the negative doubts. So particularly you have a doubt about next life or doubt about karma, become quite great obstacle about practice of dharma. Then once you have, so therefore doubt will be not arise. The second affliction is called the sleep. Those called sleep. So all the negative emotions arise. Ignorance is the main cause. There's some other condition like a sleep, lethargy, excitement, laziness, carelessness, shameless, lack of embracement. Those are also forgetfulness or lack of vigilance. Those are the cause to arise all the negative thoughts. Therefore, in order to reduce ignorance, you need to realize dependent arising. In order to control hostility, anger, you need to practice compassion, you need to practice patience. In order to reduce attachment, you need to practice essenceless or ugliness. Or, essenceless means first you think this is so nice, this is so good. When you study closely, then you cannot find something is really there. Then pride, discrimination. You need to discriminate here and there, then pride going to reduce. The negative doubts can be reduced through knowing the truth. The wrong view is depend on what kind of wrong view you have. So this is mainly, talk about the cause of suffering. Now, simply, step number 1, you should think what does mean ignorance? The ignorance means the mind which is totally, hold, totally perceive all phenomena exist as a independent, inherent phenomena. This ignorance. Then, what does mean attachment? The thing is there, but they are not as what we think. For example, one object can be very nice for you, is very ugly for someone. This means the object is ugly or beautiful or good. It depends on your perception. This means the ugliness not exists from the object side. And the beautifulness part also not exists from the object side. It depends on your perception, attachment. The anger also, when we get angry to someone, when you get angry to someone, maybe you have an angry towards human being, or you can have an angry towards animal, or you have an angry towards, the senseless object. For example, when the weather gets so hot, so also you are very angry, you're not happy about the weather, also you get angry, upset. So that moment, for example, when the weather becomes so hot, so we cannot change the weather. So instead of getting angry, you must change your perception. You must change your thoughts or try to adopt the hot weather. You should not really say should not be very unhappy. Then ignoring is the root. All affliction emotion are the second causes condition of the samsara. The karma is the third causes and condition to arise samsara. Right? Now the opposite. So there's a two truth. Cessation and the part lead to the cessation. First, we talk two truth, two types of truth of suffering, origin of suffering. Second, truth of cessation, the truth of the path to lead to the cessation. Right, Four Noble Truths. Next, we study about the Bodhisattva paths. So now look at, you have a quite good understanding about the small capacity path, the medium capacity paths. Also, you should not think this is the small capacity paths. I don't need to practice. Also, you should not think this is the the medium capacity path. I don't need to practice. No, you must practice two of them. You must practice, engage into the 10 virtues action, abandoning the non-10 virtues actions. Also, you must practice dependent arising, emptiness. Also, you must cultivate all the antidotes towards all the negative thoughts. Then, if you only practice dependent arising with the renunciation, then you will achieve liberation, clear liberation, because you completely liberate from the samsara, because you are able to liberate from the cause of samsara. But you still cannot be Buddha, right? So next, in order to achieve Buddhahood, in order to become a Buddha, you need to practice Bodhisattva paths. So Bodhisattva paths only, differentiate based on the practice of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta. So we open, please everybody who has a book, please open the book number 2. The stage of the path for persons of great capacity. Now look at capacity, very important words. If you have a small capacity or small ability, then you must practice the small capacity paths. Always practice the 10 virtues action. Always try to abandon the non-10 virtues actions. Without taking refuge into Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, or probably you do simple practice. If you have a more than small capacity, or if you have a medium types of capacity, then you must practice mainly the Four Noble Truths. So when you practice the first two truths, the origin of suffering, or suffering and origin of suffering, then you are able to cultivate the renunciation. Also you are able to realize impermanence, emptiness, the 16 characteristic of the Four Noble Truths. Then you continuously practice renunciation with the Four Noble Truths, then you will achieve liberation, not Buddhahood. If you have a more than medium types of capacity, you have a really great capacity, which is able to practice great compassion, which is able to develop the bodhicitta. If you have this kind of capacity, then not only practice the first two paths, you must practice the bodhisattva paths. Respectfully, I bow down the feet of the excellent, reverend person who have great compassion. Mainly, his Lama Tsong-kha-pa. Respect to his guru. After such as extended meditation on the falls of sacred existence from the Varis perspective, you will see all of the sacred existence as a pit of the blazing fire. So when you practice, when you fully meditate on the falls of the sacred existence from many different perspectives, then finally you have strong view about samsara is look like blazing fire. So you can feel it, wherever I am born, I cannot be happy. Then you will be completely consumed with the desire to attain liberation, the elimination of the suffering and the afflictions. If you learn the path of the three precious trainings, you will attain liberation. Right? First, you need to realize the truth of suffering, origin of suffering. Then you have a strong desire to achieve liberation, to attain liberation. So how you can achieve liberation? Through practice of what? What practice? Three precious trainings. Practice of ethical discipline, practice of concentration or meditative concentration, then practice of wisdom. Please remember, right? So through practice of ethical discipline, is discipline your mind. When your mind has a discipline, then if you have a good mental discipline, then when attachment, anger, so and so just feel to arise, then you're able to control. Just you stop. You can able to stop the the very visible, the manifest all the negative thoughts. For example, due to anger, you really hate, you really don't like someone. Then someday you feel I want to fight. I want to fight with the person. Or at the badly you think, I want to kill him. You have this kind of thoughts. When you remember your ethical discipline, then it restrains to arouse, strong anger, the visible, the manifest angers. So, through practice of ethical discipline, you reduce the manifest all the emotions. Then, not only ethical discipline, if you practice concentration or meditative concentration, then it will help you to reduce all the negative emotion, quite the able to minimize surprise. Top of them, if you're able to practice wisdom, which is realize emptiness, then you're able to eliminate the root of the sufferings. That means 3 virtues trainings. You will attain liberation. What does mean liberation? Which is free of cyclic existence and is indeed reversible, right? That means when you achieve liberation, it cannot reverse, cannot go back again. Unlike the glories of the higher status within cyclic existence. So we believe in the 3 realms: desire, form, formless. The highest, that highest state of the samsara is, do you remember? The highest, the top of the cyclic existence. Yeah, peak of samsara, the top. So through your practice, through your negative, positive action, if you are able to go born in the highest level of the samsara, still you will go back to the desire or hell or hungry ghost realms. So if you achieve liberation, you completely free from suffering, completely free from cause of suffering. You cannot go back again into samsara. However, now it's very, very important. However, your elimination of the false and the attachment of the good qualities will be incomplete, right? Even though you fully became arahat, fully achieve liberation, but it doesn't mean you achieve the complete good qualities. That means attainment of the good qualities will be incomplete. Thus, you will not have accomplish your own aim, can only accomplish the purpose of the other in a limited way. When you become arahat, when you achieve liberation, you eliminate only the afflictive emotion, include ignorance, but still the imprint, the tendency is still there. That means you haven't eliminated all the false, all the negativities, because still you have the imprints, which is lived by all the negative thoughts. Also, you haven't achieved your own achievement, because you don't have the limitless power. You got certain power, but still you cannot go limitless. You haven't achieved limitless power. Therefore, here, eventually, a Buddha will exhaust you, and you will have to enter the Mahayana. Now we are talking about, make sure. So let's say somebody practice the Hinayana path through renunciation, Four Noble Truth, then reach to the first, second, third, fourth, the 5th path. Hinayana 5th path, right? That means was the first path, accumulation path. Now we have to say accumulation part of the Hinayana, the preparation part of the Hinayana, seeing part of the Hinayana, the meditation part of the Hinayana, no more learning part of the Hinayana. That means Hinayana has 5 parts. Mahayana has 5 parts. So when you fully achieve liberation, you gone through the 5 parts. You finally achieve liberation. When you achieve liberation, what kind of part will you have? No more learning Hinayana paths. Hinayana paths. No more learning means, so when you achieve liberation, then there's no more learning according to the Hinayana path. Right? Still you have to learn. Then why this word is so important? Eventually, a Buddha will exhaust you, and you will have to enter the Mahayana. Because when you achieve liberation, you are completely free from suffering. You are completely free from all the negative thoughts. That means you have a very bliss state. You have a very happy state, right? That means you remain this kind of blissness for forever. Therefore, the Buddha need to ask you to, arise from the blissness to practice bodhicitta. You will have to enter the Mahayana. Why? Because of this, intelligent person should enter the Mahayana from the beginning. Clear? Beginning. Instead of going, the first part all the way to the no more learning Hinayana path, then come back to Mahayana, is quite, it takes took long time. Therefore, it's better enter the Mahayana path from the beginning. Clear? Beginning. That's why we should think, I don't want to go through the Hinayana path all the way to the Arahat and come back to practice bodhicitta. Once you have abandoned forever the two lower vehicles, which possess no power to pervert the welfare of world. That means the two lower vehicles. Which one? Which are the two lower vehicles? Yeah. No, hearer and solitary realizer. Right? That means there are two types of Hinayana paths. So you have to abandon the two types of Hinayana paths. Then there's two quotation. Next, when you see that beginning have fallen, just as you have into the ocean of existence and are trembling, unable to walk into safe direction, because the eyes of wisdom, which is distinguishing what to adopt and what to discard. Therefore, when you think about, for example, you are quite intelligent person, when you look at other sentient beings, right now, we are also in samsara, other sentient beings also in samsara, right? Samsara. But due to your little knowledge about Dharma, the little knowledge about the Lamrim, then you can see, other people, they really don't understand the truth. They don't understand the emptiness. Therefore, they look like the blind person. They don't know which is adopt, which is must eliminate. Therefore, you just, generate compassion. It is not better to care of others and to strive for their welfare, you who are in the conqueror's lineage. Then, why would not anyone who is in the conqueror's lineage and who walk for the welfare of world have compassion for those tumbling with their eyes of the wisdom closed? That means, even though you can see, other sentient beings are in samsara, they are totally suffered, they don't have the wisdom, still if you don't able to practice compassion, that means your eyes of wisdom is totally closed. That means we need to practice bodhicitta because we and other sentient beings equally want to be happy, equally don't want to be suffered. Therefore, we need to practice bodhicitta. So there's no need to read all the quotation. Now just look at the page number 15. First, second, third paragraph. Therefore, Mahayana is the origin of all good of self and others. This means we have two paths, Hinayana and Mahayana path. So the Mahayana path is the cause or origin of all good of self and others. Why not the Hinayana path is origin of all the good of self and other? Because if you practice Hinayana path, you cannot achieve your own achievement. You cannot give lot of benefit for others. Right? Therefore, Hinayana path is the origin of all good of self and other. The medicine that elevates of travels the great path traveled by the all knowledge person, nourishment, all the beings who see, hear, remember, and come into the contact with it, and that which has the great skill in the means engage you into other welfare, and therefore indirectly achieve your own welfare, instead entity. For example, when you practice great compassion, what we think? We think benefit for other sentient beings, right? You always think benefit for other. You always think, well, benefit, giving a lot of benefit for other. You never think your own benefit. But if you think, benefit other sentient being, you are thinking for other beings and other benefits, but indirectly you achieve your own happiness, right? You need to think about your happiness, your welfare, your benefit. You mainly think only benefit for others, only benefit for others, only other welfare. If you only think other, your benefit come indirectly. Do you remember, for example, the farmers, when they grow rice, they grow rice. They never think they need the what you call harsh, the grass, the rice and the horse, right? They never think I need more horse, more grass. They think I need more rice. When they grow rice, the grass will come. Therefore, the person who practices bodhicitta, the person who practices the bodhisattva path, always think, which practice I will do is do for others. Even though when you recite, one mantra, you should think, I'm going to recite this mantra in order to benefit others, in order to benefit all sentient beings. But your benefit come within this practice. Therefore, one who enters in these things, when you have this kind of thoughts, then you must think, wonderful, I have found what I am looking for. Enter this supreme vehicle with all of the strength of excellent person that you have. So, even though, look at this time, how many human beings we have on the planet? More than 7 billion, around 8 billions. But among those people, how many people think about be compassionate? How many people think about only benefit others? They totally don't care about their own benefits. There's a very few people. The number is so little. Therefore, once you have this kind of thoughts, you should think it's wonderful. I am very fortunate. So this means these pages mainly explain why we need to practice bodhicitta. Why? If you don't practice bodhicitta, only practice renunciation and Four Noble Truths, you will achieve arhat state. You achieve liberation. So what is okay, if you think it's okay if I am able to have liberation, no. Even though you fully achieve liberation, but you haven't achieved your own achievement, right? Also, when you achieve liberation, when you become arhat, you have a limited power to benefit others. Therefore, why not? We should, achieve all good qualities. Why not? We should have limitless power to benefit others. Therefore, we need to practice bodhicitta. This is mainly talking why we need to practice bodhicitta, then why it is so important. The next, the training the mind in the path of person of great capacity. Training the mind in the stage of the path of person of great capacity, presented in the 3 sections. These 3 sections are very important. What are the 3 sections? Number 1, Mahayana. Look at, you need not just enough to read, you must think. Only intense to the Mahayana, right? Showing that developing the spiritual enlightenment is the only entrance to Mahayana. That means, look at, generally we say, oh, the Buddhist practitioner in like China, Singapore, Korea, Japan, Tibet, Mongolia, like follow the Mahayana tradition. Then Sri Lanka, Thai, Burma, what we call, they follow the Hinayana tradition or Theravada tradition. Therefore, we consider ourselves, I followed the Mahayana path. Also, we think I practice Mahayana path. Actually, we think, but we are not really practicing Mahayana path. Also, we are not really practicing the Hinayana path. Also, we are not really practicing the Dharma. Right? Because we really don't know what does mean Dharma. We chant, we recite, we make some offering, do prostration. It's not the pure Dharma. Pure Dharma. Therefore, we must think, the entrance to Mahayana. Only bodhicitta is the entrance to Mahayana. Without practicing bodhicitta, you should not think, I practice Mahayana path. You should not think, I really follow the Mahayana path. Which we can say, I follow the Mahayana tradition. Is nice. It's tradition. Tradition, culture. So important, Mahayana. So look at, when you see this sentence, you must think. You want to practice the Mahayana path, or you want to practice the Theravada path or Hinayana path. You should think seriously. Have to be very serious. So due to many reasons, if you really think I cannot practice great compassion, I cannot have a compassion for all sentient beings, if you really think I cannot, then you should think I want to practice the Hinayana path. Right? Hinayana path. Also, due to capacity, your ability, due to many reasoning, if you think I cannot practice bodhicitta, I cannot practice renunciation and Four Noble Truths, then you should think, it's okay, I just practice the 10 virtues action every day. Always practice 10 virtues action, then you will be happy in this life, also you will be happy in next life. Otherwise, we're not serious about the 10 virtues action, we are not serious about the renunciation and Four Noble Truths, we are not serious at all about bodhicitta, then many years, we have been studying Dharma, we try to practice Dharma, but at the end, we don't have anything. Anything. That's what we said, Tibetan, saying, it is so, like a pity, the doctor dead without taking any medicine. Doctor, pass away without taking any medicine. When we say doctor, they must have a lot of medicine within himself or herself. When he or she is sick, they must take the medicine. Otherwise, what is the point of taking medicine with the doctor, right? Number one. What is number two? Man. So, because number one, you must think bodhicitta is the only entrance to Mahayana. If you really think it is so important, I want to practice. It's so important, I want to practice. If you seriously think, I want to practice, then second, the question, how to develop? How to develop? Then, after you fully, conviction about yourself, yes, I want to practice bodhicitta. How? Yeah, this. Then, after I practice bodhicitta, how I can engage into bodhisattva deeds, bodhisattva action. These three things are very important. Now, showing that developing the spiritual enlightenment is the only entrance to Mahayana. Right? Now look at, so the Mahayana, the term, Mahayana, Hinayana is already mentioned in many books, even though in the Sutra or Tantrayana. So why we call Hina and Maha? Hina, Maha. So look at, There's two types of motivation. The one motivation, thinking about only yourself. There's another motivation which is thinking about all sentient beings. If you compare these two motivations, which is more great? Thinking more all sentient beings are more great, because this is a Mahan, right? Due to the motivation is, one is a very great, one is not that great. They be called Hina and Maha. Second, when you practice the paths, Hinayana and Mahayana, when you practice Mahayana path, you need to practice renunciation, bodhicitta, 6 perfections. Also, you need to accumulate merit for how many? 3 eons. Look at the practices. Look at the merit. It's much greater than the Hinayana. Hinayana, look at practice renunciation, 4 noble truths, and at unfold Arya paths. No need to accumulate 2 types of merit for 3 eons. Therefore, the practice is a big difference. So when you have actual result, you through practice Hinayana, what you can have a result? Result as a Arahat, liberation, liberate from samsara. But still you have the imprint of the negative emotion. Also, the power has a limited. You don't have a limitless power. When you become a Buddha, you completely accomplish all good qualities. You have a limitless power to benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, look at the motivation is different. The practice, the paths are different. The achievement is a big difference. Therefore, Hina and Maha, right? Hinayana and Mahayana. Here, question, given that you should enter the Mahayana in the above mentioned manner, what is the intense? Right? That means, yes, I understand, the Mahayana path is so important. I want to enter into Mahayana paths. Then, how to enter? Entrance. What's the intense? Reply, the Concord taught there are no Mahayana vehicle other than the perfection vehicle and Tantra vehicles. Look at, when you think about Mahayana, only how many Mahayana? There are only 2 types of Mahayana, which is the perfection Mahayana vehicle, then Tantra Mahayana vehicle. You have to add the Mahayana. Look at, there's only 2 types of Mahayana. Usually I said, right, Sutra Mahayan, Vajra Mahayan. It's same meaning. There are no Mahayana vehicles other than the perfection vehicles and the Tantra vehicles. Whichever of these 2 you enter, the only intent is spirit of enlightenment. That means there's 2 types of Mahayana paths. Sutra Mahayana, Vajra Mahayana. Whichever you want to intend, you must intend through the bodhicitta. Clear? Bodhicitta. So, without practicing bodhicitta, if you think I practice Mahayana paths, you are totally mistaken. Without practice bodhicitta, if you think I practice Vajrayana, also you are totally mistaken. Therefore, you can see, even though many Tibetan monks and nuns, or in many Tibetan Rinpoche said, oh, I practice Vajrayana. They did a lot of ritual, chanting, making torma, offering torma. You can see, look like they really practice the Vajrayana path. Actually, no. Even though you can see in Burma, there's a very popular monk who practice Vajrayana, but they don't practice bodhicitta. That means we need to differentiate. Okay, the person practice the Vajrayana ritual, chanting, tradition, not practice Vajrayana. Like us, you can say, I follow the Mahayana culture, Mahayana tradition. but I cannot practice Mahayana path. Can you? Can or cannot? Yeah, in the future you can say I can, this moment cannot. Yeah. So if you have a bodhicitta, then your practice become Mahayana path, Mahayana practice. Right? Therefore, do you remember, if you don't really believe into three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, then you, even though you consider I'm Buddhist, you are not. Or if you think I practice the Dharma, I practice the Buddha Dharma, if you don't have a sense of renunciation, all the Dharma practice became not pure Dharma. Doesn't matter how long you practice Dharma, all the consequences can be in the samsaric level. The renunciation is so important. Then bodhicitta, right? How many types of Mahayana paths? Only two. What are they? Yeah, right. Then with perfection and sutra is same meaning here, okay? The perfection vehicle or sutrayana vehicle, tantrayana vehicle or vajrayana vehicle, they are same meaning. Whichever of the two you enter, the only intent is spirit of enlightenment. There's only one intent, okay? Once you have granted this spirit in your mind, you are recognized as a Mahayana practitioner, right? Practitioner. You should not think I'm Mahayana practitioner. Even though you may not have generated any other good quality, if you generated bodhicitta, then you recognize as a Mahayana practitioner. Even though you don't have any other good qualities, still you recognize as a Mahayana practitioner. Even though you don't realize emptiness, right? You don't have other, good qualities, still you are Mahayana practitioner. When you separate, very important, when you separate from the spirit, when you separate from bodhicitta, no matter what other good qualities you may have, such as the knowledge of emptiness, etc., you live from the Mahayana, falling into a level of Sarvaka and the Hira, right? And the point is taught in many Mahayana scripture and also proved by reason. Now, it's quite clear, right? So, bodhicitta is the only intent to enter into Mahayana. If you generated bodhicitta, you become Mahayana practitioner. You become bodhisattva. If you forget bodhicitta, then what happened? You fall into Sarvaka, or you already fall into Hinayana paths. Look at this means actually you have two minds. Let's say the minds which is practice Four Noble Truths also practice bodhicitta. When you don't have when bodhicitta anymore, you have only one path. Then you fall into Hinayana path, right? That means it's very. If you think I cannot practice bodhicitta, then already fall into the Hinayana or Charvaka. You live from the Mahayana, falling into the level of the Charvaka. This point is taught in the many Mahayana scriptures. Is also proved by reason. The scripts, so yes, there are so many scriptures, there are so many teachings say this is this. Most importantly, is proved by what? Reason. Proved by reason, right? The entrance into Mahayana is determined by the development of the spirit alone. That means you enter into Mahayana or not is only depend on the bodhicitta. The subsequent departure from the Mahayana is determined by laws alone. Hence, beginning Mahayana practitioner or not is contingent upon the existence or non-existence of this spirit. You become a conqueror children immediately after you generating the spirit. That means, look at it, it's so important here. Beginning a Mahayana practitioner or not, it is contingent upon the existence or non-existent. Bodhicitta is not no more existent within your mind. You are no more Mahayana practitioner. The Bodhicitta within your mind doesn't matter. You don't have any other qualities. Still, you are Mahayana practitioner, and you became the conqueror's child immediately after generating the. Therefore, many texts say, conqueror children. Do you know why? Look at this next sentence. The moment helpless being, bound in the prison of sacred existence, develop the spirit of enlightenment. They are called children of Sugata. Sugata. And also today, I have been born in the Buddha's families. I have become a child of the Buddhas. Look at, when we say, look at, as a parent, when the mom get angry with the child, the mom usually, what does she say? When they really get angry, she say, you are not my son, right? You are not my son, you are not my child, right? Right? Get angry, say, you're no more you're not my child. When the child does something wonderful things, do some wonderful thing, went to school, complete every day, complete the homework. When they come back home, you say, oh, you are my son. Very close, right? Close. That means why Buddha always wish, all sentient beings wish to generate bodhicitta. Because Buddha can see, only bodhicitta can help, bring all sentient beings from, samsara to liberation. Only bodhicitta is most important. Then, therefore, if somebody generated bodhicitta, Buddha feel, oh, he is my son, right? Son. Therefore, it's always you mention is Buddha, the conqueror son. Thus, it says the ones you have generated, the spirit, you are called Bodhisattva. Speaks of the present being Bodhisattva if they have this spirit Bodhisattva deeds. Not only that, next look at, O child of the good lineage, although a precious diamond breaks, it still outshine all spiritual ornament of the gold. That means bodhicitta is look like diamond. All the other practices are, the ornament of gold. It does not lose its name precious diamond. It is still removes all poverty. That means its diamond becomes a bit small, break into many pieces. Still, it is a diamond. It's diamond. It's still expensive. Similar, those who have developed the precious diamond, which is a spirit of enlightenment, and the aspiration to omniscience, although their legs is application, still outshine all the golden ornament, which are the gold good qualities. That means once you generate bodhicitta, still you are not practicing every day. Okay, just able to generate bodhicitta, you got, very valuable mind. It look like diamond. When you practice furthermore, it's become, more precious. So next, after the quotation, another very important, page number 17. So now you think bodhicitta is the only instance of the Mahayana. If I generate bodhicitta, I'm Mahayana practitioner. If I cannot be Mahayana practitioner. Or you already have a bodhicitta. If you lost the bodhicitta, you are no more bodhisattva, you are no more Mahayana practitioner. Right? Then next, Page number 17. O great Bodhisattva Manjushri, this tantric mandala is excessively secret, unfathomable, very profound and vast. It is unstable to teach it to the sinful beings. Look at this mean Vajrayana, Tantrayana is very profound, is a very secret. It is not stable to teach it to whom? Sinful being. Who are the sinful beings? That means sinful doesn't mean who have a lot of negative karma. Okay, everybody has a negative karma. Who has a self-centered attitude? Who have a selfish mind? Who have a mainly self-centered attitude? Look at who have a self-centered attitude. The person doesn't have great compassion, right? Then the person won't have bodhicitta. Sinful being, Vajrapani, you say this mandala is very rare. Since I have not heard about it, to whom should it to be explained? That means, Vajrapani received the teaching, and Vajrapani said, yeah, it is very rare. So I have no heard about it. Whom should it to be explained? The Vajrapani reply to the Manjushri, O Manjushri, once those who have entered into meditation on the spiritual enlightenment have attained it. Manjushri, those Bodhisattva who practice the Bodhisattva deeds, the door to the Tantra, should enter into the Tantra mandala of the great sublime wisdom initiation. That means, look at who don't have bodhicitta, who haven't generated bodhicitta. We should not, Vajrapani said to Manjushri, we should not teach Tantrayana. We should not show them all the mandala and the mudara, right? Should enter into Tantric mandala of the great sublime wisdom initiation. However, those who haven't fully attained the spirit of enlightenment should not enter it. They should not even see the mandala. Moreover, do not teach them the gesture and mantra. Right? Look at, therefore, traditionally, so whenever someone give initiation, first they really ask you to take Bodhisattva vows. Before take Bodhisattva vows, there's two tradition. One say you must take one of the precept from the 8 Pratimokkha vows. So Bodhisattva vows, then initiation. Actually, before Bodhisattva vows, the Lama, the Rinpoche definitely explained about bodhicitta. Explain bodhicitta and try to generate bodhicitta. After you able to generate bodhicitta, then the Lama give you Bodhisattva vows. After that, the Lama give you initiation. Right? Initiation. Therefore, in the future, when you attend any kind of Vajrayana, like a initiation, empowerment, before you attend the teaching, you must generate great compassion, then bodhicitta. At least when you are there, when you are in the initiation place, at least you have great compassion towards all sentiments. At least you have sense of bodhicitta. Then you will receive the initiation. You will receive the empowerment. If you try to receive initiation, with the self-centered attitude, you cannot receive initiation. You cannot get empowerment. Sometimes you think, oh, I'm sick for many years. After I receive initiation, I will recover from the sickness. Also wrong motivation. Therefore, I'm not saying you should not attend. If you wish to attend, definitely think about great compassion, think about bodhicitta, then attend the initiation. At least, therefore, look at many of you, already attend His Holiness Dalai Lama's teaching. Sometimes I think many people feel a bit bored. right? I think most of you attend many times Dalai Lama's teaching. So he always repeat similar. Why? He really emphasized to introduce Buddhism, introduce Buddha Dharma. Make sure the person understand Buddha Dharma. The second, he explained great compassion, bodhicitta, very much. Then third, he gave initiation. But other, like a master, many other master, when they give initiation, they give very kind of interesting teaching. People make so happy, excited. Or if you receive initiation, you won't go into you won't go to hell for many eons, or you completely free from the samsara, right? Then you think, wow, I must attend because it's so important. After receive this teaching, I won't go to the hell. I will go to the pure land. The people got very excited. It's not really, practical. It's not really logic. Therefore, look at Mahayana is depend on bodhicitta. If you have bodhicitta, you can enter into Vajrayana. Otherwise, you cannot. The next, there's a quotation. This supreme vehicle is realized by genuine wisdom. From it, omniscience of the great sage arise. He is like the eyes of the world. He is the radiant like the rise of the arising. That means becoming Buddha, it depends on the bodhicitta as well as the genuine wisdom, which is realize emptiness. Now this, all the quotation, this words mainly explain we must practice bodhicitta. Otherwise, you cannot be Mahayana practitioner. You cannot receive initiation. You cannot practice Vajrayana. Therefore, you must practice bodhicitta. Next, look at training the mind in the stage of the path for person of great capacity. There's was the number 2, how to develop, right? How to develop is so important. So mandala forward, do not teach them the gesture and mantra. Therefore, it is not sufficient another important. Therefore, it is not sufficient that the teaching be Mahayana teaching. It is crucial that the person be Mahayana practitioner. Right? That means, look at all the Vajrayana teaching are teaching is Mahayana teaching. Lamrim is a Mahayana teaching. It is not just enough sufficient that teaching is Mahayana. You have to be Mahayana practitioner. Furthermore, functioning as a Mahayana practitioner depends solely on the realizing the spiritual enlightenment. Hence, if you have only intellectual understanding of the spiritual enlightenment, then you likewise have only an intellectual understanding of what is the meant to be Mahayana practitioner. Right? That means all of us can understand, we fully understood what does mean great compassion, right? We know what does mean great compassion. We have a good understanding. All the practice of compassion we put in the intellectual level. We never put in the practical level. Also, since we practice, the Mahayana teaching, since we attend all the Mahayana teaching, we got the knowledge about bodhicitta. Right? You know what does mean bodhicitta? The mind which is wished to be Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. This is intellectual. So the knowledge should not keep in your mind, should not just keep in your brain. I ask you to, every day you bring into your heart. Into your heart. So far, we have knowledge in our mind, knowledge about compassion, knowledge about emptiness, knowledge about bodhicitta, sixth perfection, and practice of tonglen, giving and taking. We have all knowledge we already have, but we're not able to bring into our heart. Therefore, since we study this Lamrim, particularly Bodhisattva path, we must have a good understanding. Also, we must have a good practice. Good practice. So I urge you to, study, not only study, to practice. Try to be Bodhisattva, right? Bodhisattva. Okay, so we can stop here. We don't have enough time to. So, homework. Why you are laughing? Let him give homework. You can say, let him give homework. I'm not going to do. Okay, so homework, I think you must read, once more the 3 pages. Try to have a good understanding. Then you should think, which part you practice, which part you want to practice. The small capacity path, the medium capacity, or great capacity. If you cannot practice great capacity, and why not, you first few months, you practice the small capacity path. Then slowly you move into a great medium capacity. Then slowly you can move into the great capacity. Somehow, look at, as a Singaporean, living in Singapore is always be busy, you are always been busy. You really don't have a lot of free time to study. Still, somehow you manage to, get the time to attend that, Lamrim class, attend other Dharma class. Not just attend. Please, put into practice. At least you try to have some kind of experience about bodhicitta, some kind of experience over emptiness, renunciation. Okay, so we have 10 minutes. So for the 10 minutes, so we first do meditation about the Four Noble Truths. Then slowly, we have a little time about bodhicitta. First, everybody try to realize your own, sufferings, the physical and mental sufferings. The physical suffering include into aging and death. So we have aging, also we will have a death. Also we facing in different types of physical sufferings because we have the basis of the suffering, which is the body, the physical body which we have. It is the basis of all physical sufferings, include aging, sickness, and death. Physical sufferings. Second, everybody try to remember how many types of emotional or mental suffering we have. Within the emotional sufferings or mental suffering, think about the anger. When anger arises, you become very unhappy. It makes other people very unhappy. Anger. Attachment. You wish to get something because your mind is so attached to the thing you haven't get, but you really wish. Then we have a lot of emotional sufferings. even though you already have, your mind is so strong, attached so strongly. When you lose it, the thing, the person, then you become very unhappy. Attachment. Pride. Wrong view. That means the physical sufferings and all kinds of mental suffering which you have, it is arise from ignorance. It is same to everybody. It is same to all human beings, all sentient beings. You must recognize you have the truth of suffering, not only this lifetime, in the past. From the beginningless time until now, we have truth of suffering. If we not try to eliminate, we will have into next life continuously limitless time we will have the truth of sufferings. It arises from ignorance. Ignorance is a mind which has a wrong perception, wrong view about the phenomena, about the self, about the I. All the phenomena include the 5 aggregates. Exist dependently, dependent arising. The self, the I, the me and my also arise, exist dependently, dependent arising. But for the ignorance, all phenomena include I, appear as an independent entity. Therefore, dependent arising is the best methods to realize emptiness. Realization of the emptiness is the best antidote, remedy of the ignorance. Through practice of emptiness, ignorance ceases. Ignorance ceases, all affect emotion cease. All affect emotion cease, then there is no new positive and negative karmas. Also, without affect emotion, the karma cannot give any fruits, cannot any result. All karma look like the seeds without water and soil and fertilizer. Through practice of emptiness, through practice of Four Noble Truths, include with the renunciation, gradually you will achieve liberation. You will become Arhat. When you achieve liberation, when you become Arhat, you only eliminate all the affect emotions, include ignorance, but still you have all the negative potential, all the negative imprints which is lit by afflictive emotions. Therefore, you still haven't eliminated all the negativities. You got lot of power, energy, capacity to benefit other sentient being, but your capacity, your energy, your power has a limited. Not only that, if you only think about only yourself, then you totally ignore other sentient beings, include your parents. In order to eliminate all the negative imprints lived by afflictive emotions, you need to become a Buddha. Therefore, you need to generate bodhicitta. You need to enter into Mahayana path. There are only two types of Mahayana path, which is the perfection Mahayana path and Tantra Mahayana path. Whichever you enter, you must practice generate bodhicitta. When you generated bodhicitta, then you already became the son of the Buddha, Buddha's family. The next, we need to learn how to develop bodhicitta. Okay, so we can stop here, so we can do the dedication prayers.